Hey guys, did you think I was done? No, I'm back, and yes, you're getting two Doctor Who reviews. This one for the episode that just aired, and another one for this. I don't even know if you can see it well, but yeah. It's The Good Doctor, the brand new book that has just been released by BBC Books, and it's the first book starring Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. And just a little bit of context, a while ago, a few years ago in fact, back when Disney announced that everything is going to be canon with Star Wars right now, everything from the books to the comics to the everything else, the video games, everything else, everything is going to connect to the movies, everything is going to be this big, wild, connected, shared universe. I thought to myself, wow, I really should get invested with this because I've missed it the first time around with the expanded universe back before the Disney acquisition, what is now called the Legends Star Wars universe. So I figured I should get invested. At first I started reading every single comic book issue I could get my hands on. I've read all the books, or rather I audibled the books because scheduling wise it's a lot easier. I've played the video games and, well, I've kind of fallen off of it a bit. I'm mostly caught up on almost all of the Star Wars books. Not so much in the comics, which is a shocker to me, but yeah, I'm not very caught up on everything. So I said to myself that when I noticed that there's these new Doctor Who novels, hold on, let me just open it again. When I noticed that there's a brand new line of Doctor Who novels featuring Jodie Whittaker, and there's a brand new comic book line coming up very soon, I said to myself, okay, I cannot allow myself to repeat the same mistake I did with Star Wars. I've got to invest myself with Doctor Who that much. And it really, if I do, it really is going to be the first time that I fully commit to a new Doctor, because I read some of the Christopher Eccleston novels back in the day. I've read some of the David Tennant books, but yeah, not so much anymore. But now I have a chance to do right by Jodie Whittaker and her new tenure as the Doctor, however long it's going to go, because if you've heard the news, then apparently there's not going to be a Christmas special this year. It's going to be a New Year's special, and apparently next year we're not going to have any Doctor Who at all, because the filming on the next season has been delayed. I do hope that if it is true, then it means we're only going to get a much better season than we would have gotten if they have pushed it, but that's not the issue right now. The issue right now is that we've got a brand new Doctor Who book that I've just finished audibling a few days ago, and I'm going to talk about right now. So, Doctor Who, the new Doctor, the newest book in this new Doctor Who era with Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not one of my favorite Doctor Who books ever. Definitely not one of my favorite books of all time. But it's a very enjoyable book with a very easy to follow plot, especially if you're a Doctor Who fan for a very long time and you understand the subtleness of time travel. It reminds me a lot of the classic Doctor Who episode The Ark, where the first half of the story was basically the Doctor and his companions landing somewhere and doing some certain things to change the course of history, and then they accidentally traveled like 700 years into the future and saw that what they changed things for the worse. That more or less happens in this book. Again, no spoilers, because if you haven't read this book and if you haven't audibled this book yet, you probably should, but I'm not going to spoil anything. Basically, it's somewhere along the same plot line. The Doctor and her companions land on a specific planet. somewhere in the future, this planet called Lobos, filled with these alien creatures called the Loba. It's populated by both the Loba and the humans, and, well, let's just say that the Doctor and her companions, and this is a bit of a minor spoiler, but it doesn't, it shouldn't distract you guys from the main plot. The Doctor and her companions stop a war, or at least they help stop a war, and they accidentally, I'm not going to tell you exactly what the reason is, but they accidentally leave with the TARDIS and come back sort of 600-ish years later to find that they didn't exactly change things for the better. And now the majority of the book is just trying to set things right. And something that has happened in a lot of Doctor Who stories over the years across multiple different Doctors, but with a little bit of a twist, is that apparently this persona of the good Doctor is perceived as a god to a lot of people on this planet 600 years later, which has happened a lot in a lot of Doctor Who stories, whether you're talking about the Fires of Pompeii, or whether you're talking about the Face of Evil. It's a very tired trope that pretty much always delivers in Doctor Who stories, except this time, as I've mentioned, there is a bit of a twist, and the god persona is not the Doctor herself. Spoiler alert, it's actually Graham, which is a bit of an interesting thing, because apparently this new society of people, they don't believe that a woman could be important. They don't believe that a woman could be a goddess. They don't really believe that women could be anything special. And it pretty much leads into a lot of very interesting dynamics between the Doctor and the Loba, and this new church of humans that believes that her companion Graham is a god of some form or another. Overall, I'd say that this book is a very interesting, introspective look at the cause to effect that these time travel stories can have on people. It's a very interesting look at societies as a whole, especially the fact that certain events in a civilization's history can have massive ramifications going forward. And it just basically, it's a warning sign that if you were ever planning to travel through time, always be careful what you do, because you never know what your actions might do several years in the future. As far as Easter eggs go, there's a very blatant, obvious Easter egg right at the beginning of the book that very much ties the race of the Loba people to a very important event in the history of humanity, which was kind of subtle in one way, but it was actually kind of funny as well. So it just shows you how well and how deeply these writers of these stories are taking these sort of things. So yeah, The Good Doctor. Definitely, I would recommend you read this. It's not really a must read or anything, but it's cool, it's fun, it's nice, and it's a very well representation of this new Doctor and how she operates in this new Doctor Who era, led by Jodie Whittaker, as I mentioned. And also, I mean, if you're a fan of Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor and you like to see more content from her, remember, again, I said previously in this video that we might not have another season of Doctor Who for a while. And if you like me, and if you can't get enough of Doctor Who, then I would recommend you go ahead and read this book, or if you can audible it like me, especially because the narrator who does the voice of all the characters, she does a pretty good impression of Jodie Whittaker. She does a very good impression of Graham and Yaz and Ryan. She also does a pretty good impression of all the other characters in the story. I recommend you audible it. That's just me, because Audible is the best way to experience this new way of storytelling, which is by having a story being told to you with music and with sound effects and everything else that a television can give you, but a book can't give you. So, Doctor Who, The Good Doctor, definitely an exciting book, very interesting read. You've got a recommendation from me to go ahead and start sinking your teeth into this brand new book that's been released just a week or two ago. So, bye now. Hello again, everybody. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, where I do all kinds of weird stuff like showcase all these things, trailer reactions, movie reviews, all kinds of fun stuff. So, until next time, I'll see you guys next time.